Recording. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey,
It's another
he just
week.
walks in and he just,
What's up?
what's going on,
Inside
guys?
joke. Anyone listening's not going to get that. It's
That's
all good.
that's fine.
Welcome to 4thGen here, another week. What's going on, Nick? How you doing?
What isn't going on?
What isn't going on? It seems like it's all going on
Yeah,
all
it's
the
all
time.
going on all the
It just
time.
not stop.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been kind of a crazy time. Everything is just kind of still just trucking along.
Yeah.
This is weird. I've never wanted snow so bad.
Why?
I think I'm just ready for fresh beginnings. Like maybe it's like I'm just ready for something different. Like I'm kind of done with everything right now, and I'm just like really uh I'm so excited to like for it to be just quiet. I'm hoping it just gets quiet where we can just
Yeah.
sit down on the couch with a coffee, cuddle up with my girls, and then just and watch TV.
Yeah, but that's I think that has more to
I
do
really
with your
want that.
schedule than
That
the weather.
That's true. Yeah, no, but it's I talked about this with my wife there the other day where um it's so much I don't feel guilty sitting on the couch doing nothing and watching
Right.
TV when it's cold, raining or
Yeah.
crummy outside cuz it's like, what do you do? You got to
What are you gonna do?
what do you do? You just got to watch
It's
TV.
like every once in a while. I remember the wintertime, what I'll do is if I wake up and there's 2 feet of snow on the ground,
Yeah.
I'll sort of like casually text my client and say, "Oh, so we still on for today?" And kind of just as if I'm just confirming, but I'm actually being like, "I don't
Yeah,
want to do this."
please don't.
Yeah, and then about 3/4 of the time they're like, "We're not doing it today."
It's like, yes.
And you're like, "Oh, okay. Well, let's reschedule."
Yeah.
But actually, you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna stay in my
Staying in my
PJs."
PJs today. That's exactly it. So yeah, I think it's just and there's just been so much like with this corona and the government and the news and and the last couple weeks I've been so busy with things that I haven't really paid attention to
Yeah,
corona
yeah.
to the point where I was like, I think it's done. Like I don't think there's anything
But
right.
do you find okay? So that's a
Then I
good.
went back outside.
Yeah, that's a good, and I guess it'll lead us into our thing.
Yep.
But so do you feel like if you actually just say F it and you just carry on and you're not being bombarded by the news of it,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel that functionally in your day to day, it doesn't actually affect anything for you? Like obviously, Katana's at home
Yeah.
doing homeschooling. And then of course you got the mask thing.
Yeah.
So I was at Earl's yesterday
Yeah.
and I had my mask on. We walked in, we went to the table, and we were eating, chatting, whatever. And then I'm like, oh, I gotta go. See you guys later. Paid my bill, and I was literally from. People can't see this if they're listening. Sorry, but I was literally like 15 feet from the door
Yeah.
because we were in the lounge. So I didn't even think. So I just like got up, and I just
Walked out.
walked out.
No
right?
mask.
No mask, no nothing, and then the hostess, who they normally say, "Thanks for coming in,"
Yeah.
or "How's your meal?" or whatever. She's like, "Please put your mask on." But the thing is that the hostess is at the door,
Yeah.
like literally at the door.
Yeah. Like if anybody should have been concerned, it should have been your waitress.
Well, no, but I mean, even like, so it's like her saying, "Please put your mask on." I'm literally, it's like, well, it's one more step and I'm out of here.
Right.
So like, you could have just not stopped me, and I could
Right.
have just carried on.
Eh,
And so it's like,
yeah.
but I guess they're also like, they're probably used to saying it 60,000 times a day.
Just
And it's just like
comes out.
reflex, just like comes out. But for that like 8 seconds, it's like there was no, you know what I mean? Like
there
it's
was
like
no corona.
it's more of like
Yeah.
how you, and even around the even like going grocery shopping and stuff. It's like, yeah, everyone's got the mask on, but that like I feel like the tension is down.
Yeah.
Whereas like the first few weeks when you'd go shopping, it was like I didn't even want to go shopping.
Right.
Like I didn't even want to go get groceries because it was just like everybody was like I had got this like bad vibe everywhere.
Right.
And now it just seems like there isn't that.
Yeah.
So I think if like you take the news out of it, it's almost
Yeah.
pretty normal
the news,
feeling.
the news makes it the worst.
yeah.
Like literally, like I just we haven't paid attention. I've been so face down and everything else. So I like it just wasn't even on my radar. And
Yeah.
like we've kind of gotten so used to our daughter being home doing schooling
Right.
that I like it's just kind of just
Yeah.
disappeared, and we don't go out anyway. Like
Right.
we kind of always been like introverts. Like we don't really go out, and we're even more now not going out. So it was even it's just not there anymore. And
Yeah.
then like the other day, yeah, you go out, and then there's people in grocery stores with masks. Like I've gone out maybe 10, 12 times in the last 2 weeks. I've left the vehicle every single time not wearing a mask, forgetting, and then having to go back to the vehicle to
Right.
get it and
Because it
go
is
back.
every time. Yeah.
Right. And then the second you start watching the news, all of a sudden it's like it's just over the top again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like it's not really doesn't really
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
And then when you see all this stuff, the contradiction on the news too, with the there was somebody had filmed a takeout place. I don't know if it was here in Canada or if it was in the States, but they were handing the food out the window, bare hand, like with just regular hands, like
Yeah. Just holding the bag.
the guy in the vehicle didn't have a mask on, and I think that the person who was delivering the food had a mask on.
Yeah.
It was a McDonald's, and they're handing food out, and then they showed, I think, their kids collecting candy last year at Halloween on the
Right.
same video, and they're like, "So how is that allowed? And kids are not supposed to go trick or treating this year?"
Yeah.
Right? It was like the same thing as like the lineups at Walmart, and this is when like COVID was like
At
hitting,
the yeah, hitting
fan,
hard.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There was the lineups at Costco,
Yeah. It was 400 people.
right? But then they were saying, no, you can't have your graduations.
Yeah.
And so the people were putting that comparison together. We'll go right into this part. Well, I guess, yeah, we'll just
go
back
in.
through it, and then we'll
Yeah.
go into this our next piece here. But it's the same contradiction of we were talking about off camera earlier. This music, last year around this time they were trying to pull "Baby It's Cold Outside" off the radio.
Yeah.
This year, Wet Ass
WAP.
WAP is the number one song. So what is
What is it?
the
Yeah.
message?
Yeah.
What
yeah.
like somebody's
Like,
got to.
what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, that's the
Because
kind of
it
feeling.
just does it, and it's with whether it's life and death COVID or morals with a song. Like we're so contradictional, as a society.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating to keep up with.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm tired with. Like I just like that's why I like picking a show. We got Amazon Prime. We're just picking like these like random shows that are like just comedies, fun, whatever, and you just shut the rest of the world off.
Well,
Grab a coffee, and just
like
zone out.
like Alexandra and I, we love like 90s comedies, like or rom-coms, like 90s rom-coms and 80s and 90s, just old comedies.
Yeah.
We were watching Police Academy, the first
God.
one, right?
Yeah.
And it's weird, but it's like you're laughing your ass off, but then you're also in the back of your mind being like, they literally couldn't make this today.
Exactly.
Like they wouldn't be allowed to put this on.
And you're going far back.
And that's
You're
far back.
going
That's
to
like
the 90s.
82. Well, that's like but I mean, even even like Waiting.
Oh yeah.
I think it's
Ryan
like
Reynolds.
2002.
Could not make that
Like you
movie
still
today.
can make that.
I don't know. Like there is a line in some of that stuff because like we watched The Naked Gun. the
Oh
other
my
day.
God.
Leslie
Yeah,
Nielsen.
I saw that it came up, and I'm gonna watch it because I love those movies. And he's like just a genius.
Like
just
the
a
comedy
genius.
delivery
Yeah,
on
still,
those.
the straight man
Oh
routine.
my
is
lord,
the
like,
best. Yeah,
so good.
Yeah.
So we watched that the other day, and my wife had never seen him before. It just so great.
or like Airplane.
Oh man, Airplane.
That whole bit about like, and it's not gonna get canceled, hopefully, but it's like that whole bit about like jive talking.
Yeah.
And like I mean, it's just, and the grandma comes up. Don't worry, I speak a little jive. Like, like it's just.
And it's weird.
It's
I just don't know
crazy.
how people. I guess that's just.
So-
I don't know if it's the ignorance. I just don't know how people can get insulted by that.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, so back then, like, so you're talking the 80s, right?
Yeah.
It's like, the question is it like, this is like the number one thing when people start a conversation with, well, I'm not a racist,
Right.
but they go into something. But in this case, it's like, so was it just comedy? And it was the comedy itself was showing the issue? Like it's like a satire on like the actual issue?
Now let's
Or
talk
was
about
it
the
just-
jive talking scene.
Yeah.
That's your
like,
talk.
so that's what I'm talking about.
right?
Like, let's say,
Yeah,
right? So what is
Like,
that?
are we making fun of jive talking, or is it just interest.
It,
Like I'm not making fun of jive talking. It's like
or talking jive.
or talking jive,
Sorry, is that
whatever it is.
yeah? But
it's
but is it a commentary? Is like because comedy's used to like comment on stuff that's like not sort of easy to talk about.
right.
That's kind of the best thing about comedy,
Yeah.
right? And so it's like, or was it to be, was it to show the, like, was it to show the sort of like the reality of like how society
But I mean, like
is?
it ch- things are funny to different people, and so like to people that don't understand it, whether they're like a different color or race or whatever, people that don't understand talking jive would find that funny. Like they find it interesting. They'd be like that is such a wild way to talk, right?
Yeah,
Right? And so
I don't know.
it's
But again, they couldn't
I
make
don't
it
know.
today.
It's so weird. And it couldn't make it today. I mean, if you want to even go even more, like when you look at The Office,
Oh yeah,
they couldn't make that today.
no,
Like some of the commentary on like gays and stuff like that, you're just it's shocking to me. Had I watched it 2 years ago, it wouldn't have been shocking. But in the last 2 years, today, it's like, holy man, like I can't believe they said that.
yeah.
And now,
Or
and that was
community, like
community. Yeah.
like all these community or oh, what's the other one? Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Like
Yeah.
and like Mr. Swanson, like Ron
Yeah.
Swanson, and he's just
Wild, right?
like and it's sort of like, but but
And the times change fast. Here's a
yes,
crazy thing before we move on. My parents were over the other day, and we just got on this topic about like what was the significant thing that happened? Because it actually came up because we were talking about 9/11,
okay,
right? And then also coronavirus, and just going like our daughter is gonna like But even for my dad, my dad's going on 74 here in a couple months,
yeah,
4 months, and we're going like, look what you've lived through.
yeah,
Like you went from like you guys had like the Model T Fords in your days, and you guys like moved into the I mean, my dad was alive when JFK was assassinated.
right,
He saw
yeah,
then my dad saw 9/11. Now my dad is seeing a pandemic.
yeah,
My parents were alive when they landed on the moon. Like they were born. Like that happened when they were teenagers,
yeah, yeah.
which is like, wow, that is gnarly.
Eh,
And then we go back to like my grandma. And
yeah,
my grandma saw the steam engine, the train come in,
yeah.
and then transition. So she saw horse and buggy to train to
The
car,
cars, yeah. That's actually our same. Like
which
our
is like
yeah,
whoa.
like my one of my grandfathers on my mom's side, like fought in Africa,
Mhm.
for Italy, was
Yeah,
like fighting in Africa, literally in the army, and then all of a sudden Canada, like moves to Canada, watches the car, like same, like cars become normal, telephones become normal, TV, then color TV, then like, you know what I mean? Like it's
exactly.
so, and so I think, so there's a certain amount, and the youth has a weird perspective because they look at those people, like they look at the older generation.
Mhm.
It's that standard okay boomer.
Yeah,
Like that annoying, like that's the comeback now, right? It's like, okay, boomer, like, you don't know anything. It's like, no, they actually know more than you can possibly imagine because they've seen everything. And you've
and,
seen
and like
nothing.
and like the drastic changes are
Yes.
like granted things change super fast now,
Yeah.
and back then it was a
Slower
slower
burn. Yeah,
change,
yeah, that's fair.
but they were big changes.
Yeah.
Now, so the following into like what my transition was uh we were looking at like the costs of things. So like between when my mom and my dad were born, 8 years difference, cost had doubled. A car was $3,600. A home was
Yeah.
$12,000. Like when my dad was born in 47. Yeah, 47, 49. Anyway, then my mom was born 8 years later, and the car was now $6,300,
Yes.
and the house was now $24,000.
Right.
Now, when I go back when I bought my first house in Mornville, that would be 2004, $158,000, and then sold in 2007 for $360,000.
Yeah.
Put that like 3.5, 4 years,
But that's also an
it
economic
doubled.
but that's also
But
like the
in the 80s
situation.
that happened. In the
Yeah.
80s, it literally like it went 12 times.
Yeah.
Like 12
Well, I remember my
times from
parents,
where it was.
I think their first house was like 110
Yeah.
in Millwoods.
Yeah.
And then 190 was what the big kind of like the big house I grew up in or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, and then now it's like the average house in the average single family dwelling in Canada is 402
Yeah.
is the average,
At the average.
right? And that's not counting like that's just across the board. So that's counting like Butt F, Newfoundland,
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
all the way to like the condo in
Millwood.
Millwood. Well, like
Whatever.
the house in Millwoods to like Vancouver, and then like Vancouver,
Right,
right? So
right.
it's like and everything in between. So, but if you think about that, so if you think about that, it's 402. What's the mortgage? $2,500 a month,
Yeah.
right?
402, really?
Well, with property taxes and like
Oh,
I'm
yeah, if
just
you
kind of
start
saying like what you would need
what
cash
do you need?
to
Yeah.
like kind of like operate it,
Right.
like call it 2,500.
Fair enough, yeah.
It's like that's insane.
Oh, yeah.
In Canada. That's like insane. And it's like, yeah, it's easier to make money now too. Like there's more income streams if you are savvy.
Well, and that's what I don't understand. And
But
let's get into that. We're moving on
okay,
here. So
let's yeah, sorry.
moving into
Put
the
this put this
let's put this
put this idiot up on the
this
screen.
bam.
Oh,
Oh.
oh.
So speaking about, economy and all that sort of jazz, we're going to cut through the crap right off the bat, and then we'll move into some more fun stuff here. So we've got Mr. Trudeau there does his throne speech just this last week. Brought up all sorts of issues,
Yeah.
all sorts of things, everything
Right.
from COVID to, where we stand for green emissions and where we want to be, and made some lofty goals.
Yes.
Toss those out there, and between trying to match, if not exceed, what the Paris Accord is doing, and man, like they're just like, I don't know, man. Like to be talking about all that stuff, and then like he's trying to do like the universal childcare system as
Yes.
well. They're still talking about this universal income that I don't know where they're.
It wasn't in the speech.
Wasn't in the speech, but I
so-
know it's on the back burner that they're still trying to like bat it
Yeah.
around a little bit.
Right.
The EI compensation and what they're trying to do with that, as well as the what was the other one he was talking about? EI and oh crap,
Pharmacare?
it was a
some
pharmacare
stuff?
Yeah, some pharmacare stuff. But just that whole like, I don't, as an average peon, I don't get it. We're in this hole, like we've dug this hole,
Yeah.
and he's still talking about spending money
That's on the face of it, yeah.
on the face of it.
Yeah.
So I still don't know how. Like I just don't know where does it end,
Yeah.
and then where's the money coming from, and then like what are we doing to grow?
Yeah, I think that's the issue. That's my biggest issue is there's no plan to actually, like I said it before, like it's, I say it before with the sort of more extreme liberal side, like more than we were, more than what we're sort of traditionally used to,
Right.
is that they're just so obsessed with just like making people better.
Yeah.
And they just don't understand that people just want to have better lives.
Right.
Like and that's the thing. And that's all this is. And all that is just, oh, we're going to do, it's like to have say, 2050 zero carbon emissions. It's like, well, if Canada has zero carbon emissions, all you've basically done is ruined everybody's lives. But globally, we're like 0.1%
Right.
of the emissions.
That's
And so
something
you really got to
yeah.
like get your head out and just
Yeah.
say, okay, well, how about we just make our citizens' lives awesome
Yeah.
and we tackle the, climate change like globally.
Right.
Like we pressure the Chinas and the Indias of the world who are just trying to like lift their people out of poverty. It's literally what it is. Like energy equals wealth.
Yeah.
Like period.
Yeah.
Like that's just where the energy goes. That's where wealth follows because you can heat your homes, you can have microwaves, you can have cheaper consumer goods, you can do all these things that you can't do without petroleum products.
Right.
Right. And so it's like, so worry about them and like, we have the best, like, I mean, we have the most ethically sourced oil on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
like, more so than even the United States,
Yeah.
right?
Well, that absolutely.
And
People just don't seem to focus on that. Like we talk like we get shit on like
yeah.
so bad.
But it's like, but
when it comes to that stuff.
Leonardo
And we're-
DiCaprio's not flying to Texas to talk about like the fracking,
right. And that's
which is like
backyard
horrible
for crying out loud.
It's just like you can hop in a car and
Right.
go,
Right.
But it's like a very weird.
Well, there's like this message against Canada.
That's right.
They're just Canada in general. We had Kelly McTaggart on the show Alberta Impact last week. She's with the Canadian Association of Petroleum Producers.
Yes.
And we were just talking about what is the messaging that Canada needs to do, Alberta and Canada needs to do to get out there and be more successful on a global scale when it comes to moving our product.
Yeah.
And and she has some really great, everything was great from her perspective. Was it's like we have to be communicating we have some of the best sourced fuel, lowest emissions, best sourced energy in the world.
Yeah.
On processes. There's just there's like a mission out there to just step on us.
Yeah. Well, because that's the
it's like there's a conspiracy that someone's trying they're trying to take our flipping country over by just crashing our economy to the point where we're so bad that people need to step in and help us. But it was them that caused the problem.
Yeah, it's
right?
And it's a slippery slope when you talk about conspiracy. But in a conspiracy theory, let's get into this. Change the set. No, but it's true. When you follow them, you follow the money. If you follow the money, the money always takes you to where what's actually happening, right? Yeah. And that's I truly believe that.
We have a series coming up here right away. We're working on it right now. That's exactly what it is. So I got another partner, and he's doing this follow the money thing.
Yeah, I thought you wanted me to host that, so that way your life isn't ruined.
Maybe. Yeah. Let's just throw you under the bus.
Just throw me under the bus. Are we gonna do it blacked out? Are we gonna do it with masks?
Yeah, exactly. But this guy, he's been going into stuff, and he's doing this follow the money thing.
Yeah.
His research, he's a smart cookie.
Yeah.
And why I'm on the show, I'm just there because I'm just listening.
Yeah.
I'm just there to just be in awe as this guy explains some of this stuff. But he's doing this follow the money, and it's everything from China, Russia, India, the UK, South America. And the stories that are coming out of this following the money scenario is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that series will be coming out here in the new year in 2021. And just what he's been showing me. And
it's insane.
And the thing is it's he references all the material where he gets the information from. Which
it's all out there.
That's what I love. It's not his opinion.
Yeah.
It's here's what I found. Take a look at it. Now, here's what else I found. Take a look at that. Now, these are actually two pieces of a puzzle that come together,
right,
and make a bigger picture. And no one has taken, and that's what I love about this series, is he's taking all these little puzzle pieces. And he's like, look at what's happening here. Look what's happening here. Look at this in there. Now, if we follow money, the same money goes through that puzzle piece, this puzzle piece, that puzzle piece, which brings it all together.
Well,
this is the problem.
Well, and you bring it all back to this guy.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, you say, okay, so what you're let's not talk about what you feel like you're doing.
Yeah.
What's the net effect, right? And the net effect from basically since he got in office to now is that the average human being living in Canada has less money.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And now you've made it, and through the last few months, you made it so a small business is closed down. Big corporations have more money because now people are using them like you said. It's okay, so a 12-seat restaurant shut down.
Yeah.
But you can go stand in line at Walmart.
Right.
With 400 people or Costco or, and it's so the scale tips. And then all of a sudden it's well, we're going to give you money. The CERB, the EI.
Now it's owe us.
So now you,
man,
right.
yeah. Don't
you know
get me into
no,
this.
but no, but you know what I mean? So the net,
we don't have the time.
We don't have the time, but
we don't have the time.
The net effect is that you're basically wiping out the middle class, which is where the strength of any country actually lies, is the middle.
That's the pillars. That's holding it all up.
That's what holds it all up, because those are the people who at the end of the day, some a loaf of bread's $5.
Yeah.
And who buys? So for me, for an average person, a loaf of bread is a larger percentage of what I take home to buy versus a millionaire. Because a millionaire, the loaf of bread's still $5. They don't buy millionaire bread that's $50, right? Or
Yeah.
their cable is $99 a month. They don't have millionaire cable.
That's what you should do. You should have to show up at a grocery store with a financial
T4?
statement, T4,
And they adjust
and then
the
they
prices.
adjust the prices at the till
That's horrible.
on what you make in a year. It's like, oh, you made $5 million. That bread's $500,000.
They're like, thank you very much. That'll be $6,250, please.
And it's like, yeah, but that guy's got the same stuff in his cart. Yeah, but his is only like $50.
But it's like, so every decision they make
That's when
actually
they start chipping us.
it only well, that's next.
Yeah,
That's next.
that's what the vaccine is, right? For COVID, it's a chip.
It's an electronic chip.
It's an electronic chip that
Okay, we don't have time to go into this.
Bill Gates is sticking in us.
Horrible.
Oh, we're gonna piss some people off
Oh,
with
I
that.
got
Let's move on to something a little bit
But
more.
anyways, yeah.
a little bit more.
Jeez
We'll hack at this conversation again next week. So let's go into something. Speaking of billionaires,
Oh yeah. Speaking of billionaires.
some latest movie news. It's just kind of fun to just talk about this one. This is pretty interesting. So, Mr. Tom Cruise tossing it up, wants to do his next movie in
space.
Which is, I don't know, it's pretty badass, but
It's so bad. Like I hate him because I ain't him.
exactly. I hate him because I hate him.
No, but-
Exactly. Oh, there's another movie. I don't know how they made it.
Yeah.
With
Well,
the
they wouldn't have made
dictator.
it. Yeah,
oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
lord.
Yeah,
or the interview.
The interview.
The interview.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tom Cruise. Love him or hate him. Yeah, the dude's. Like I always get a weird reading, like when I watch interviews with him and stuff like that. I can't tell if he's a cool cat or if he's
If he's off
yeah.
his, or if he's completely like off the reservation.
Because it just depends. Like when he did his sky jump with James Corden, he seemed like a really cool dude. And then I'm seeing him in a couple of interviews, and it's like I think he's having a bad day because he doesn't look like he's a very happy dude to be around. But anyway, so this is gnarly.
Like to actually film and like the thing is like what would possess you? Like they make it look so good now that you can do anything.
Yeah.
With digital, like you can do
Not good enough.
You could like
not real.
Yeah, like it's just
Well,
like
then
it's not real.
but that's him though. It's like when he's hanging off the building and flipping Mission Impossible.
He did it.
He's like, or on the plane. He's like, now strap me to this biatch and like take off. Let's
The
do this.
plane was crazy.
And like I love when you see the behind the scenes of this plane taking off and there's this little body strapped.
he's
to
just
this
like,
thing flapping off.
yeah,
And
and
you're just
he's
like holy crap.
like what? Like
So it's-
what?
Yeah, like
know?
and like I admire. I do admire that, and that's why I hate him because I hate him. But I do admire that because like I really do feel like I would do the things he does. I think and I think he lives life like it's like life is an experience.
So do you-
everything's an experience, and so you got to do it.
Do you think it's his faith? Like, do you think? I mean, this is a bit. This is
Taking religion into it?
no. I mean, but well, not really. It's Scientology.
Okay. Oh, now. Oh,
Not
dang.
really.
Oh,
but
dang.
I mean, do you think it's like? Do you think that's what? Do you think he's so in? Do you think he's so into it? Because he's basically after Miscavige, like after like the psycho who runs it.
Yeah.
He's basically the next guy down.
Isn't that wild?
Do you think he's so in that he truly like believes that like he's like I'm so clear. I've gone so clear that like I can do anything. And even if I die, who cares? Because I'm going to. Is it the volcano where all the thetans get blown up? Something like I don't know.
No idea. I've never looked into Scientology
don't-
other than the fact that he and Travolta were into it.
There's a couple of like
Pretty gnarly documentaries.
like Going Clear is the documentary.
Right.
Going Clear. It's like literally it'll blow your mind.
Really?
It'll like blow your
Okay,
mind.
check
But
it out.
Check it
Going
out.
Clear.
But do you think he's like just on that level where he's like I can do anything, so who cares? Or do you think it's just sheer like it's sheer like the adrenaline, like he's like an adrenaline junkie and like needs to push the envelope every time?
I think the mentality that he has in life when it comes to like just the not even just adrenaline junkie, but the no fear to do anything.
Yeah.
Now it's a lot easier to do when you're boat loaded rich. It's easier to do, just say caution to the wind, just do it. If it fails, whatever, because I've got boatloads more, right? I'm always taken care of. So much easier. But the mentality of not being afraid to fail, like he has.
Yeah, but that's not being afraid to fail. That's not being afraid to die. Like, I'm not talking about his project.
But
I'm talking about
kind of falls into the same thing. Like, it's not just failure. Like, I mean, like if you die, that's failure. So it's
well, the ultimate failure.
There's no I got second life and like it's not a video game. But there's just this like if you're just not afraid to just get out there and do it, and you go, like I envy that where that's why you don't it's like that whole thing you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. He's just like, let's just do something insane. And now think of the marketing behind this. You being a marketing guru, think of the marketing behind this of like, we're already talking about a movie that's probably not going to be made for 5-6 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're already like, holy shit, like this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And now this is going to be a conversation, and the whole build up to this is going to be a conversation that's going to be, now you got Elon Musk, you're rubbing elbows with all the really big boys.
Yeah.
And in a world that you've never been part of. Right. Now I'm in that world just because I'm crazy.
Yeah, like I'm in aerospace.
Right? So the fact that he wants to do it for real probably isn't even the big deal. It's the fact that he's in there with those guys now.
Yeah.
What is that gonna? And then what does that do for them? We got. It's like, I mean, what Tom Cruise is doing for Scientology is what now he's going to be doing for Elon Musk and Bezos with Blue.
And it's what like Top Gun did for like Navy,
right?
Like enrollment.
Yeah. Because like, how many people watched Top Gun and were line the next day?
There was actually
up.
That's right. There was a mathematical noticeable increase after that movie came out.
Yeah. And so now it's going to be the same thing. And then when they start saying like, oh, flip, we can send Tom Cruise to space now, and he's cool with it. And if they successfully pull it off and it's all safe, now it's like, hey, you know what? That's going to open the doors up to recreational space travel. And look, it's safe. If we're gonna throw
a movie studio insured an actor
to do it
to go up. Yeah.
Now it's just these are all just steps. Like, this goes back to our earlier conversation here. The change, if this kind of gets to where it's gonna go, that we're gonna see is gonna be in like 10 years, where we're gonna be like,
do you want to go to space?
Want to go to space? Yeah. Like, hey, I got tickets for the moon on Saturday. I want to go. Like, we might get there.
Yeah.
And this stuff's moving quick. And if this gets done, and the conversation is, because now there's like a drive. It's kind of like Neil deGrasse Tyson said it. He's like, the only reason we haven't made it to Mars is because
there's no money.
We haven't really needed to.
Yeah.
But if China said, hey, we're going to go put a military base on Mars in 6 months or in 8 months, the U.S. would be there in 6.
Yeah.
They'd take and he even said, he's like, it would take a month to build and design. It would take 5 months to get there, and they would
do it.
There would be a race.
Yeah.
It was the exact same thing with putting a man on the moon, getting a guy into space, Russia and the United States.
Yeah.
The whole thing, military driven. If there isn't some sort of like, I got to kill you before you kill me, there's no drive to move this thing we call society, a world, and life forward. It's messed up. It's messed up.
Like, it's not for the greater good. It's because the human nature needs to be like some conflict to like overcome.
Exactly. Now, I wish that they would put the effort into the serum to make me the Hulk. I want to get to this level, or Wanda, or hell, I'll take a super soldier serum any day. Moving on, because we're running out of time quick here.
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, kicking it in. We got a bit of a casting. Disney's dropped some new trailers for. I haven't seen the.
They haven't done
anything
Falcon
for
trailer
Falcon,
yet.
and
WandaVision.
But they got WandaVision going on. I'm still lost on WandaVision.
Everybody is.
Okay. Good. I'm not the only one. All right. There's lots of speculations, like it's like a sorcerer that's doing it, and this is going to tie into Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness,
Yeah.
and the whole thing, which is I love it. And the other thing too is, and I was talking to my buddy Ryan there the other night about the WandaVision thing. They might be just throwing us for like the biggest loop in the promo, and it's going to be like epic. Like and
Well, it is.
5e and that whole team at Marvel has been awesome
Yeah.
from day one
Yeah.
at doing this, like showing you one thing and then blowing your
Right.
mind with the curveball on the other end, right? So
Well, there was a little hint in the trailer when I forget which character was saying it, but he said to Vision, "Oh, you're dead."
I
So
missed that.
yeah, there's oh, you're dead. So it's like
Yeah, because I think that was like the whole throw to like one of these sorcerers. There's been like I hate it, but I love it, and I'm gonna be the thing that I hate right now because I'll see one of these. I'm trying to think what the hell the guy's YouTube channel is. I will bring it up. I'll bring it up we'll bring it up in the graphics here. Um, he does like these speculations, so he'll
yeah,
like go like he'll
try to like
take
put it all
yeah,
together.
he'll take the preview and then he'll like tear it all apart frame by frame and he'll go through this thing and then they're like and then they kind of predict what Marvel's going to do, whether they're right or wrong. I hate it because it kind of spoils everything for me, but I can't stop watching them. But he starts talking about like how the next character is going to be like the next big villain will be Kang.
Hang
Yeah, is it Kang?
was
I can't remember who the hell it was. Not Kang. The dude with the face on the front and then the sides. I can't remember his name. Fuck. I'm like, listen, I have never stated I'm a proclaimed Marvel buff, but I love them. Anyway, so they've got there's some really cool speculations on what this whole because now it's all like in space now, like
everything's moving.
universal,
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now they're gonna start bringing in like hopefully
Well,
the Fantastic Four, like
I think they found that like the large arc with a payoff at the end and sort of one villain that's kind of behind the scenes the whole time.
pulling
I think just
strings.
works
For sure.
Like it just movie wise, it just
oh yeah,
it works, right?
Yeah.
So they're not gonna like mess with the formula. They're
Yeah.
probably just gonna be like, what's like you're saying, like who's the next,
Yeah.
big thing? Or
Yeah.
I mean, well, when you talk about Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, I mean Galactus.
Like that'd be a ball and story,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But like the thing with this Marvel thing, like I got FOMO. Like I'm scared I'm not gonna see enough of it before I die because I feel like they could go forever on this stuff. Like
Yeah.
I've got fear of missing out because like like when if they get into this Galactus, Silver Surfer, if Tom Cruise is successful, they could film Fantastic Four in space for real.
Just actually send them out there and then
Just like have a dude
Well,
on a mini rocket surfboard, just like that's Silver
okay,
Surfer.
okay, let's bring it back real quick. What if they fake Tom Cruise's spacewalk?
Oh god.
What if it's all a shit?
Okay. Oh god.
They've
Okay,
already faked one.
we can't
What if
get into
they
this.
fake a second
We
one?
can't get into this. Oh man. Again, me and Ryan, we were talking about that the other day. We're like, I don't even really know if they've landed on the moon.
Yeah, no, we can't. But She-Hulk.
Man, She-Hulk.
Good casting.
This is where we're at.
Canadian.
Good casting, Canadian, super awesome. It's kind of like now, I don't know what's happened with the movie. Again, just Canadian casting. The guy from convenience store, Chinese fella, Bruce Lee.
What are you
Bruce Lee guy. I can't think of the movie. It's he's a Marvel character.
The guy
I
from the
suck.
convenience
Sorry.
store.
He's in the convenience movie.
Look it up. We can cut this part
okay.
out.
Convenience store. I wish my wife was on headset. She could tell me who it is. She knows. Kim's Convenience says new Marvel star Simu Liu, and the movie is Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings.
Oh, okay.
This guy, Canadian guy,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
super awesome
Okay.
for him.
Yep.
Another Canadian girl doing the Hulk. I'm loving how like the Canadians are starting to really kick it up. when they're
I think they're just cheaper.
the dollar.
I think they can pay them in Canadian.
yeah.
We hired her for $26.
yeah. Okay, that could be it too. Okay, Shang-Chi. I haven't heard much about what's
No, me
going on
neither.
with that
Me neither.
movie.
Me neither.
I know since COVID hit, like they did do the walk at Comic-Con and whatnot on the stage with him. That looks super awesome. And super excited. Now, did I say? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and correct my thing. But anyway, looks awesome.
So I wasn't sure how she would look.
Yeah.
But actually, this is a good picture.
That's a great picture.
Because it actually it does actually give you, like, they wouldn't really have to do like a whole shit ton. They could just bulk her up like 20%, give her an extra foot of height kind of thing. It wouldn't have to be more like the Ruffalo where it's like, you got this like big monstrosity on the screen. So
throw some 8-inch heels on and away you go.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, actually, that is a great picture because that does look really like that looks
kind of gives you the vibe.
Gives you the vibe.
Yeah.
Like I can see this working. Like if she threw on an angry face, they'd look great together.
Yeah.
So that's super exciting. I think that's going to be really cool. That's going to be another Disney Plus.
Well, they're all Disney Plus.
They're all Disney Plus.
Why put anything in theaters right now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. So and that's going to be pretty cool. I just don't know how they're gonna. I mean, they got the casting. Like, and that's what's interesting is like they're announcing all this stuff, but like we're talking months.
Yeah, because like how do you do a production current like the way it is right now?
Pattinson, Batman got COVID. On set, apparently.
Yeah. Well, it's impossible not to.
I know.
Like, I mean, it's just, and you got like the craft service, like, so you got all the food, like everybody touching everything. You've got like people kind of like in your face, adjusting your costume, doing makeup.
Yeah.
Like, it's ripe for the sort of, I mean, people get sick all the time.
No, absolutely. And that's another movie that we'll have to talk about when we get a little bit more time. Is Batman. Like that's looking absolutely awesome.
I can almost
really.
I'm excited in the sense that I can kind of feel like the Joker would work. Like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker would almost work in there, based off the trailer.
Good call.
So that's exciting because maybe that could.
Have they given like any hint to what their rating's going to be for this Batman? Like,
but they'd be stupid for it to be R.
Yeah,
it'll have to be 14A.
Right.
They'll have to. But then again, what's 14A now?
No.
Going back to the WAP,
yeah.
like what's 14A now? They're like they can really push it.
Oh man,
so they'll probably get everything they need.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's like there's like little things that separate it. We were watching a thing the other day about what was it? It was Terminator or one of the movies on like it was a very fine line to get it to R. And still PG.
Yeah.
Like it was, and it was.
Well, there's like it's weird. They've got certain number of certain words.
Yeah, it's like so many F bombs.
Yeah, so you can drop.
This.
I think you can do. They said I think you can do one F bomb in a 14A.
Right.
And something like that. And then there's like certain, even like how the punches happen.
Yes.
Like so, it's like how they beat somebody up.
Yeah.
Can change. It's weird. Yeah, it's very weird.
So bizarre.
Yeah, the rating system is very weird.
And who came up with that thing?
Well, apparently they run everything.
Yeah.
Because the rating of your movie basically changes how much money it can make.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So because of that, the ratings people control, I guess they get basically bribed. You can check it up on YouTube. They get bribed. Like, so they'll have like, oh, we've got this new movie coming out. And all of a sudden they'll be like, oh, we're sending you here.
Yeah.
Oh, we're giving you this. Like it's a really like roundabout sort of bribery.
Hollywood, man.
To make sure that they get the ratings. Hollywood's garbage.
It's wild, eh?
It's wild.
Like
La La Land.
The world of movies and the world of music is just such like a crazy, crazy world.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all we got time for today.
Man.
We got to bounce. We got to actually go do our J jobs. We actually have to work for a living.
Yeah.
Cool. Check us out. Have a great weekend. Share, like, subscribe, and we'll be back next Friday.
We're gonna do 3 for 3 if we get to next Friday.
We're gonna keep this going, dude. We're gonna rock and roll this. So awesome. Okay, everybody, stay safe and have a great weekend.
Bye.
Peace.